And based on your remarks recently at the Senate Energy hearing, it's been suggested that the remaining applications may be considered at a one project every 2 months pace. Is that true?
What we are able to say is two things. First, we are looking at these on a case-by-case basis, so it's going to vary between projects. Yeah. But if you look at our performance for the Freeport application between closing of the public comment and the release of the application was just over 2 months.
Okay. You mentioned also that further additional information becomes available at the end of 2003, including the EIA's annual Energy Outlook report. The department will assess the impact of any market developments on subsequent public interest determinations. Are you suggesting that you plan to take another pause at the end of the year? If so, aren't you concerned that it will give certain companies a competitive advantage?
Well, thanks for the question, Congressman. What we're going to do is ensure that we're always using the most appropriate information that's available. So as market conditions change or as new information becomes available, we're going to be constantly reassessing these applications on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. This question is for both you and Mr. Wright. When it comes to your statutory responsibility in regards to LNG exports and imports, are there any issues or limitations within the Natural Gas Act that you'd like to see changed in order to do your job more expeditiously and effectively? Either FERC, and I know it's a three-step process. That's why Corps is here, but mainly FERC and DOE.
Well, thanks for the question. I'd state that our job as a member of the executive branch is to ensure that we are executing the law as written, both the letter and the spirit of the law. So if Congress should change the law, we'll certainly be executing the spirit of that law as changed.
Okay, but you don't have any suggestions on improvements in the law?
I would not take it upon myself to make suggestions to this body about what they should change. Mr.
Smith or Mr. Wright?
As per the Energy Policy Act of 2005, FERC was named explicitly named the lead agency for processing LNG cases as well as pipelines. And within that context, we set the schedule, and we set the schedule not only for ourselves but for other agencies. So I would agree with Mr. Smith. We have a good deal of authority that we need. If this body believes we need more, we'll be welcome to.
Okay. Mr. Wright, in conducting the environmental reviews, do you find that other agencies are responding in a timely manner?
In most cases, yes. Agencies do. Some agencies do have statutory considerations that that prevent them from adhering to our usual our schedule that we put out. That was acknowledged in the Energy Policy Act of 2005, but in general, the agencies do a very good job.
Okay. Ms. Smith, you mentioned that Section 3A of the Natural Gas Act creates a rebuttable presumption that a proposed export of natural gas is in the public interest. Why do you choose then to conduct a full public interest review?
Well, I mean, our interpretation of that law simply states that it is incumbent on those who would expose exports to demonstrate that approving a particular export application would not be consistent with the public interest, which means that we have to take those things into consideration. The law states that we have to consider the public interest, and that's what we do through our processes.
Okay. Mr. Smith and Mr. Cooper on the second panel argues that the case-by-case order of applicants that you plan to review violates the Administrative Procedures Act because that approach was never offered up for a notice and comment period. And how do you respond to that?
Well, you know, we have an obligation to make sure that we do consider each of these applications. We have to have some sort of sequence for doing that. So we've not put in place anything that would state that there is a rule or something unique that applicants have to do before they will be considered. But in doing our work with the finite resources that we have to have some sort of process for getting through the queue of applicants, and we wanted that to be open and transparent and fair.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I'm almost out of time, but coming from Texas, it seems like every port from Little Sabine River to the Rio Grande is going to get in line. So hopefully we can keep that production going in South Texas, make sure we can do that, use it, and export what we can't use.